is this?
I'm here to do another debunk video on Destiny lying about his court case. I really liked what Ryan Beard did in his video, so I'll be outlining all the flaws and fallacies in Destiny's argument, exactly what gets under his skin.
Including personal details with regards to the identity of Miss Doe, details concerning Miss Doe's harm and suffering caused or because of the defendant's actions, and explicit content. So the personal details, there are no more personal details. Her name is never used. The protection of the name is maintained throughout this entire hearing. Details concerning the harm and suffering, she's already publicly filed about all of these. And then explicit content, these things have all been publicly filed. So all of this is already part of the public record. So this is ridiculous, but...
Right off the bat, Destiny calls some of Jane Doe's claims and her request to seal the hearing transcript hilarious and ridiculous. Straw man appeal to ridicule. He says her wanting to seal details about her harm or explicit content is ridiculous because all of this is already part of the public.
I don't get why Ryo is using like a black man text to speak. Like, because Ryo has appeared on streams before, and he has appeared on other people's like voice chats in public openly before. So I don't know why he's using like a black guy, like using a black guy text to speak. He's like black role playing. Why?
Record. A public lawsuit might say she was harmed, but the details shared in a hearing or a secret witness statement, that's often much more sensitive.
Their filings have honestly been so sloppy, I don't even think they should be granted any protection of the witness.
He said he may likely spend up to $750,000 on his attorney, and he's mocking Pxie's sub-$50,000 attorney's resources. Destiny's attorneys can afford assistants who have assistants. That doesn't even touch the stupidity required to spout the logic that he should be able to dox witnesses because Pxie's attorneys make grammar mistakes in filings.
Identities at this point. Also, witness identities aren't typically protected, even in these cases, even in these Cardi cases, because witnesses...
What? I thought this was gonna be a legal debunking, not a oh you're straw manning, oh you're lying, you're whatever debunking. I thought this was gonna be a legal debunking. Like you're gonna bring up like what legal facts Destiny is getting wrong. Like if anything, this just makes me think that Destiny was correct the entire time. Because it sounds like you're grasping at straws rather than like, I don't know, rather than actually focusing on, you know, what exactly is like fuck, like who cares about, dude, who cares about straw mans? Who cares about doxing? Okay, Jesus. Hold on. Okay, let's finish.
Identity is not an inherently protected thing. Again, they're coming at this with kind of like internet rules.
And by the way, I am watching this because I am curious about what the other side, how the other side argues, okay? Because if you're ever wondering about, so Ryle Kittenhouse is pretty close to Jay Stelk, okay? I'm pretty sure he's like a friend of Jay Stelk's, right? Like a close friend at the very least. He appears on Reservoir stream at times. He talks to everybody in the anti-fan of Destiny orbit or whatever the fuck. All right, and he is obsessed with hating Destiny, okay? He's really hardcore anti-Destiny person, okay? Anyway, all right, which means this person has to be giving out the best arguments, right? That's my logic, okay? This person has to be giving out the best anti-Destiny talking points, right? So, you know, I want to take a look.
Where your name is sacred and you like, oh God, the name is doxing, but that's, I'm sorry, in court, that's just not the case. A person's name is not generally a protected piece of information.
Destiny already lost this battle. 3 witnesses are under seal. He's just seething. That makes me very happy. Moreover, this contradicts...
What is this Patrick Bateman? What is this Patrick Bateman American Psycho type shit? My enemies are seething. This makes me very happy. What the fuck?
His statement last week where he said witnesses under seal were expected, and he didn't even fight it that much.
There's nothing wrong with them filing stuff under seal, especially for a case like this. I think it's appropriate. I don't even think they should be granted any protection of the witness identities at this point. Also, witness identities aren't typically protected, even in these cases. There's nothing wrong with them filing stuff under seal, especially for a case like this. I think it's appropriate. They tried to sell it in a way that you expected the under seal filing motion to not be granted. I think generally, I don't know if it's that hard to file things under seal. And I'm not sure if we really fought that hard against filing it under seal. So if they file under seal an unredacted declaration, then that means that we have all the information. Like, I'm fine with that. That's fine. You just can't do that. I don't know why they keep trying to make this argument that they can. Trying to file, like, you can't, like filing protective orders for every single witness is just not normal. It's not the ordinary case of things. Again, if you look at like all the Cardi cases that have been filed, none of the, or at least none of the ones that I've read, the witnesses aren't protected names. The witnesses' names are just there because it's part of the case. There's nothing wrong with them filing stuff under seal, especially for a case like this. I think it's appropriate. In a Cardi case where the defendant is publicly streaming and doxing, like this is just not a word you use in court.
I don't think he's necessarily contradicting himself here, right? Like when he's talking about filing under seal, right? Like like over a course of time, he can change his mind about filing under seal, right? Filing under seal. Filing under seal refers to the process of submitting sensitive or confidential information to a court in a way that prevents it from becoming public record. This allows, I mean, he's saying that the way that they are going about it is retarded, but there's nothing inherently wrong about filing something under seal. There's nothing inherently wrong about filing under seal. You can do it, but the way that Pxie's team is going about it is retarded. All three of these statements are compatible with one another. They're not contradictory to each other, right?
A name is not doxing for purposes of like a court case. And witness intimidation and harassment are real and ongoing concerns. Yeah, welcome to the internet. You don't think I get intimidated and harassed? I'm not if I direct any, well then sanction me for it. At this point, you should be praying for me to be intimidating and harassing targets because it's the only out you have in any of this, you know?
Destiny acts like this isn't usual or normal, but it was used just the other day in the Diddy Combs trial. One of his arguments against this claim is, while those cases are crazy and insane, the claims are not relevant to whether witnesses should be sealed. Witnesses can be protected in white-collar crimes and a wide variety of cases. The only variable is the weight of public knowledge interest with the potential poisoning of the jury pool due to witnesses not coming forward or otherwise.
The defense has said, hey, Your Honor, we've complied with the court's order. We have filed a substantially more redacted version, but we think it's unfair that we have to. And we think it's unfair that we have to because if we have to do that, the result will be an unfairly polluted jury pool manufactured by the government's misleading narrative and widely disseminated by the press. They say that their characterization of the evidence that they've reviewed is appropriate, that it should not be sealed, and that the court should evaluate when something is proper to be sealed and that public access reigns here. I disagree with the defense argument on this because the protective order, including the sealing order, is already in place.
6851's purpose is to protect against the publication of intimate matters. If you actually read the case where this protection order was granted, this was just the permission to proceed under pseudonym for the plaintiff. It had nothing to do with protecting witness identity. So the citation is bad and they miscited it, but whatever.
Fallacy, misleading interpretation. I'll be honest, I went to ChatGPT for the legal citations. 15 U.S.C. section 6851, Doe Williams v. Williams ChatGPT analysis says, the cited case underscores the protective purpose of against the publicization of intimate matters. This protective principle can extend to witnesses whose testimony involves such matters and who face similar risks of public exposure and harassment if their
There's nothing necessarily wrong about using ChatGPT as long as ChatGPT isn't your lawyer. I think Ryle here is just using ChatGPT to fetch like that specific like reading the text, right? No?
identities are revealed in connection with those details.
Time to file response, reply, answer as to the opposition. Okay, so we filed a response to their order to compel Kiwi Farms to remove videos because it's just everything about it is ridiculous. You're not going to ask them to remove any of my videos, literally just for your client. You're not even going to ask for other women's videos to be taken down. You're just literally it's inappropriate. Kiwi Farms isn't a party to the case. You can't issue a court order compelling a non-party to do something, and the requesting of attorney's fees as a result of it is stupid. A court order to remove something doesn't prevent it from being reposted in the future. It's just dumb. But
Fallacy, whataboutism, and red herring. Pxie is focused on her specific harm in the videos pertaining to her.
He's listing this off like a real debate pervert. Fallacy, excuse me, you and get fallacy, straw man, red herring, Occam's razor, Hanlon's razor, blah, blah, blah. Oh my god.
Case. Whether other videos exist or should be removed is a separate issue. Attacking the request for attorney's fees as stupid is an ad hominem, not a legal argument. Pxie's motion is to address the unauthorized distribution of her intimate images, which is the subject of her legal claims.
What I like about court, okay? This is what I like about court. When we go to talk to the judge, and when we go to talk in filings, this stuff has to be put here under penalty of perjury. So we really have to mean what we say, and we have to say what we mean. Jane Doe has had the opportunity to say a whole bunch of wild and crazy shit about me on her fucking Substack. So she had the opportunity to say a whole bunch of crazy shit out here publicly. This is all public, by the way, without any of this being under penalty of perjury, without being in front of a court. And then now when I finally get my day in a hearing to ask questions and respond and to give my...
Foodshops, will there be no Ethan React? We already did the Ethan React. Because he did a stream yesterday, right? So we did the Ethan React yesterday. No?
Perspective on things.
Unless he did
They've
another one.
demanded
Really?
for that
Yeah.
to be sealed and hidden from the public, despite the fact that her side of the not under oath
The guy from Kiwi Farms already took down all the videos recently. Grok, is this true?
statements remaining public, which is ridiculous, but whatever. It's not whatever. It's actually gross, and it's a fucking abuse of this system.
Bye shot, bye chat, love you. Okay. Well, see ya, Dino.
But okay.
Fallacy, false equivalence. Statements made on a personal blog are different from sworn testimony or evidence in federal court. Court proceedings have rules and procedure. The request to seal a transcript is based on the sensitive nature of the in-court testimony and evidence, not just one person's story. Even if Destiny wanted to make this argument, her one-time public statement paralleled with his weekly streams calling the plaintiff and her counsel evil, abusive, law-breaking, would still be wrong according to him.
Defendant erroneously states that this court lacks subject matter jurisdiction over the claims involved in this action, which arise out of federal statute 15 U.S.C. 6851, Civil Action Relating to Disclosure of Intimate Images Act, CARD-E. The defendant takes this misguided position based on his claim that the one and only time he shared this video was prior to the statute being enacted. Plaintiff has presented this court with competent evidence that directly rebuts and disproves defendant's
Yes, like a week ago, I think all of Destiny's videos were taken down. Okay.
assertion. The court has subject matter jurisdiction because the claims arise under 15 U.S.C. 6851.
Forgive me, but I don't have the guts to search up Destiny's penis, okay? I could be double checking whether or not Kiwi Farms has Destiny's penis and all the secret, like, women's news and stuff, but I feel like if I ever saw one of these, it would feel incredibly wrong, okay? It feels like I'm looking at something it's not meant. I'm not meant to look at. So, you know, obviously.
The burden of proof to establish subject matter statute that they're claiming, which became law on October 1st, 2022, allows for an individual to file a federal civil suit against anyone who discloses intimate visual depictions without the consent of the person depicted. Disclosure is defined as an act to transfer, publish, distribute, or make accessible. This is a broad definition, and in construing a statute, the court must begin and often should end as well with the language of the statute itself. So for CARD-E purposes, transfer, publish, distribute, or make accessible, this doesn't mean you have to do it in a public manner. Sending it to a single person does count for CARD-E stuff, okay? That's important because the later claims that they cite do not count as just singular transfer. You have to publish it on an internet public website, okay? But law didn't come into effect until October 1st, 2022.
I had to double check this claim with a few people, including esports Batman, 10-year vet previously of the Destiny community and attorney IRL, because I thought I hallucinated this double speak or had to be blinded by bad faith. Listen again.
So for CARD-E purposes, transfer, publish, distribute, or make accessible, this doesn't mean you have to do it in a public manner. Sending it to a single person does count for CARD-E stuff, okay? That's important because the later claims that they cite do not count as just singular transfer. You have to publish it on an internet public website, okay? But law didn't come into effect until October 1st, 2022.
Here's the rebuttal esports Batman gave.
Keyword is disclosed in or affecting interstate or foreign commerce or using any means or facility of interstate or foreign commerce. without the consent of an individual where such disclosure was made by a person who knows that or recklessly disregards whether the individual has not consented to such disclosure may bring a civil action against that person in appropriate disregard. I'm just okay. Look, all this legal shit is just so fucking confusing. Okay, listen, I'm not gonna pretend that I'm utterly confused by all of this. Okay, I am utterly confused by all of this. All right, listen, this stuff. Oh fuck. Okay, nah, this stuff is too confusing. But I will. This is why I don't cover this kind of shit, right? But, however, I will say this. I wonder if people like Ryle support the releasing of the transcript, right? Because Destiny supports the releasing of the transcript, and I'm assuming Pxie does not. Because if Destiny is lying that he actually doesn't support the releasing of the transcript, but online he does, Pxie would have countered him by now, right? And I would assume that she has legal jurisdiction to say that, yeah, you know what, Destiny actually doesn't want the transcript to be released. He's lying to you guys, right? Otherwise, there's no point in lying to the fact that, yeah, you know what, he doesn't want the transcript, he wants the transcript to be released or whatever the fuck, right? Because yeah, anyway, the point is that, like, I wonder if they support releasing the transcript, because fuck, that's the only way to, like, really verify how good or bad the preliminary hearings are. And also, like, you can't, if you're an online lawyer, I don't really care that you have an actual, like, legal basis to practice, like esports Batman. I think that, like, I I think that, like, a lot of lawyers, the reason why a lot of lawyers online bicker about things is because laws are vague and you can't promise a win or a loss, you know, even if there is precedent for a case. You can only say whether or not a case is very strong or very weak, right? Like, it's kind of like a cancer diagnosis, right? Oh, this medicine could be good for your cancer, but it can't be receptive to everybody, right? The only way to find out is to take the medicine and see, like, which way the medicine goes, right? Yeah, like I just kind of view court cases like that, where it's like trying to treat cancer, you know, where it's like, oh shit, well, can this medicine work or not? Who knows? Yeah.
Keyword is disclosed in or affecting interstate or foreign commerce or using any means or facility of interstate or foreign commerce without the consent of the individual, where such disclosure was made by a person who knows that or recklessly disregards whether the individual has not consented to such disclosure.
Like, you know the meme of, like, the moment Israel and Palestine happens, everybody is suddenly a, like, geopolitics, like, expert or something? This is, like, this kind of feels like that, where, the moment the politics lawsuit came into action, now everybody is suddenly a lawyer. Like everybody is suddenly a lawyer, okay? Like, fuck. Oh wow, we're all clueless before, but now apparently, you know, because we hate Destiny enough, like, we're all lawyers now. So, you know.
May bring a civil action against that person in an appropriate district court of the United States for relief as set forth in paragraph 3.
Attached here too is Exhibit A, is the stipulation of Lawco LLC to subject itself to this court's jurisdiction in regards to the proposed court order. Thus, this court does have request for relief. Defendant claims that removing these videos is arbitrary relief, even though he contradictorily claims that he has tried to have them removed to no avail and continues to victimize himself with regards to the alleged damages he is now facing because this video was posted. I understand it's a court case and you're trying to win it, but I'm sorry, this is just the most disgusting, grody, like, just absolutely, it's just the most gross behavior that you could ever, like even in a court filing. I'm sorry, like, this is so disgusting. He victimizes himself. He's victimizing himself. Get the f over yourself. What a gross thing to say.
Joanne won, Destiny lost, loser fallacy, appeal to patchy beard, straw man voice, can't keep spaghetti in pockets fallacy.
The relief requested is but one step towards correcting the wrong caused by defendant to plaintiff. The wrong that was caused when somebody who wasn't me uploaded these to a website that I don't control? Give me a break. While defendant may be comfortable with having this type of private content on the internet, like, are you serious? Plaintiff is not and continues to suffer extreme emotional distress because of the publication of apparently not, a concept everyone but the defendant seems to understand. Like, this court case has been for how long? Right? You guys were sitting on your thumbs doing all, while apparently your client was apparently, it took you a month and a half to file for a TRO that got tossed in large part because of the staleness, because of how long it
TRO is a temporary restraining order, right? Yeah.
It took you to file the temporary restraining order? You're telling me that it took you more work to write up the restraining order than it did for the complaint? Why wasn't the TRO submitted the same day or the day after the complaint was submitted?
Like from what I remember of what I Googled, okay, again, keyword here is Googled, okay, because I'm not a fucking lawyer, all right, and I try not to pretend that I know any kind of legal analysis, right? You're only supposed to be filing the stuff that Pxie has filed because you actually feel as though you need to have the court take you to a safe location right now, not because, you know, not because of whatever, but like you need a restraining order because you actually feel like you're unsafe in the moment. You can't wait for the court to make its decision. You need to be safe until the court can actually process the entire case, right? That is the point of an emergency restraining order is what Pxie tried to go for. It wasn't just a temporary restraining, it was like an emergency restraining order or something. Like an urgent restraining order, which is like, yeah, you're in a situation where you desperately need a restraining order or something. But yeah, what do I know?
It's a TRO. It's an ex parte request for enjoining behavior. Why the fuck are you? Why are you waiting so long? We're now 6 months, 7 months, 8 months into the leaks, and now you're saying that there's irreparable harm that's being suffered? How has it taken so long?
Fallacy, victim blaming, ad hominem misdirection. These are personal attacks and attempts to...
Dude, what the fuck? Okay, stop. I thought that he was just memeing this entire... I mean, like, obviously, like, Ryo is probably, like, memeing the fucking terms, right? Like, obviously. But, like... It's just a little bit corny, okay?
Shift blame. The timing of legal filings can be strategic, and delaying a TRO request doesn't negate the harm of Destiny unconsensually sharing Pxie's videos.
Like you can make a video without like giving off Redditor energy, right? Like the alpha male voice filter, even though you have spoken before on stream, the legal analysis by asking a Discord lawyer. It kind of reminds me of President Sunday saying that he's talked to lawyers to Kilo, right? To Kilo the Giant, right? Oh, I have lawyer friends. Oh, you don't understand, Kilo. I have lawyer friends, right? It kind of reminds me of that. It's just like there's just so many parts here where it's just like, why stop? This Redditor energy has to stop. Like, stop. Why? And with like the whole like rain. The rain stock video, oh, very cold. Oh my god, Giga Chad mail.
Her public statements about her experience are her prerogative, especially if she feels it's a response to his actions. Pxie's attempts...
Like, okay, serious question. Why do Destiny's haters all have to, like, look or sound like losers? It just makes, like, why? Okay, like, yeah, fuck. I don't even know.
To seek legal redress and share her experiences are not victimizing herself, but...
Like maybe that's why anonymity is like key for everything that they do. They have to remain anonymous because people then point and laugh.
Actions taken to address the harm allegedly caused by Destiny's actions. The focus remains on defendant's actions and plaintiff's right to justice. He's spending 7x on attorneys and ridiculing the plaintiff's attorneys because they aren't as staffed or have the quality of his attorneys.
Additionally, the defendant has continuously ridiculed and mocked Ms. Doe after the video was leaked to his followers on his online platforms. I'm not like ridiculing her for the video though. Nice trying to combine that there. I'm ridiculing them for the behavior that they're displaying in court, including directing his followers to the Kiwi Farm site. Again, that's another super gross mischaracterization of me complaining that all of my revenge is still being openly hosted on Kiwi Farms.
He just did it again. He's telling the audience where his leaks are, which include other people. He desperately wants everyone to see his diseased unit.
None of the commentary bros or anybody seem to be talking about it or give a fuck about it, but okay. Granting this order would be proper as it would serve to prevent imminent
All right, a little bit of body shaming men, a little weird, okay? Making fun of the shape of someone's dick. All right, a little bit strange. All right. I think Ryle Kittenhouse should post his own hog on the internet just so, you know, we can make sure that he's not like projecting or anything, okay? So
irreparable harm to imminent and irreparable.
Sus.
They say 7 months into the case. What does imminent mean? What does irreparable harm mean? The imminent irreparable harm to that instead of Ms. Doe's mental health and her quality of life. Defendant opposes the plaintiff being awarded attorney's fees because he claims there was a failure to meet and confer. In fact, defendant's own attachments show there was an attempt by plaintiff to reach a solution to this prior to presenting it to. Yeah, and you guys rejected it because you wanted to keep my revenge posted on Kiwi Farms. Because you wanted to keep my revenge posted on Kiwi Farms.
He's saying because they didn't want to pay for attorney's fees to get his revenge taken down, they clearly want it to stay up. By that logic, Destiny has not only been indifferent to Pxie's revenge, he's also fought her ability to get a court order to get it taken down, making his actions equivalent to...
What?
Because you wanted to keep my revenge posted on Kiwi Farms.
He's saying because they didn't want to pay for attorney's fees to get his revenge taken down, they clearly want it to stay up. By that logic, Destiny has not only been indifferent to Pxie's revenge, he's also fought her ability to get a court order to get it taken down, making his actions...
I'm pretty sure what Destiny is saying here is that there's no point in me paying extra lawyer's fees to help you out by taking down the revenge porn if it also doesn't mean also taking down my revenge porn specifically. If you don't say the fact that, well, yeah, we need to take down all the nudes, then what is the point of only helping you out, right? Then at that point, it seems like you're only self-interested. You're not actually interested in the fact that revenge porn is being spread around. You're interested in the fact that only you get to benefit from a situation in which you have created yourself, right? So again, like, it seems a little bit like, I don't know, like bad faith to say like, oh wow, yeah, Destiny is complicit in rape, all right? You don't get it.
Equivalent to...
Yeah, it's silly. He said a billion times that he doesn't really care about his pecker being shown out there. Okay, if people don't really care about their pecker being shown out there, maybe everybody should just post their dick pics on the internet, okay? Like, obviously, he's saying that he's gotten to the point where his dick is commonly spread over the internet so much to the point where he no longer cares. However, obviously, he cares about, like, equal treatment, right? Like, if I go around saying, yeah, I no longer care about insults where people call me a pedo, but then, like, I'm not allowed to call another person a pedo because they call me a pedo, then it's not really equal treatment, right? Like, sure, I don't care about being called a pedo at that point, but it doesn't feel fair, right? Like, I don't think this is a complicated thing to understand. It's not about like, oh, what I care about inherently. It's about like the double standards of the situation, right? Does that make sense? Yeah. I was raped so much I became numb to it. Wow, see, she was chill with it. Yeah. So can I post nudes on your Discord? No. If you send me any nudes, I will ban you from my community. I'll block you on Discord, and you'll never come back. Okay? Thank you. See the gay thing that I sent? Dude, I don't want to play Honkai Star Rail trailer on stream. What, like, what? What's the point? It's a short animation, not a trailer. No, I think I'll watch it off stream, okay? Oh, Bucko, you should actually, by the way, you should actually enforce speaking English. The reason why you should enforce speaking English is because if somebody says like an incredibly bad slur in Spanish or something, it's not easily enforceable. Like, it's just not. So instead, you should just like keep it strict or something. But yeah. Only 20 seconds. Nah, no. Mm-mm.